going on, guys? It's your host, your boy, George McKay, back here again with the Rewind, the MLW Rewind. I just got back from Filthy Island, and I have to say, it was everything I wanted it to be. A beautiful fucking disaster. With me along for the ride is my podcast life partner, although some days I'm iffy. Please help me welcome the second oldest man on the planet, Lewis Carlan, to MLW Rewind.
Well,
Lewis?
thank you. Who's the oldest man on the planet? If I'm the second oldest.
Well, my dad. Usually I say my dad's the oldest.
Oh, okay, I gotcha. All right, fair enough. No, it's good to be back here, Filthy Island. It was a fun ride, and I'm looking forward to talking about Filthy Island. How are you doing today, sir?
I'm good. I got my Starbucks cup from the
Okay.
island. I've
Okay,
got my pineapple flavored water to represent
okay.
the Filthy Island, and I'm good. I'm relaxed. And this was by far, in my opinion, my favorite episode of MLW in 2021. I'll put the stamp on that now. There's
Okay.
been other episodes that have had great bright spots, but this was everything. The promos were great. The comedy was great. The best part about the whole show for me was I'm just going to cycle ahead. The main event, when Low Key was coming out, they had the little stats there. Every time somebody came out, they had a stats like graphic come up, and they called him the Puerto Rican James Earl Jones. I died. I literally was rolling on the floor laughing that hard. So Low Key, aka the Puerto Rican James Earl Jones, that's gonna stick for me from
Okay.
this day on. Every time we mention Low Key, he will be the Puerto Rican James Earl Jones. There's no other way to describe it.
Okay, fair enough. Well, I gotta say, I initially watched it on my phone, didn't give it my full attention, and I know I initially said I didn't like it, but I watched it again this morning, gave it my full attention, and it was really good, and I'm looking forward to talking about it. Like you said, it was a disaster, but it was a beautiful disaster.
Beautiful disaster.
Yeah,
That's
it's a
the
lot
best way
of
to put it.
it was entertaining. It was good. Well, I'll let in and we can start talking about it.
Absolutely. Let's get into it. So right off the bat, when
Okay.
the episode
Okay.
starts, the disclaimer comes up again. Heed caution when journeying to Filthy Island. We're not going to read the disclaimer again. If you need to go back and watch a previous episode, you can. But right away, that was the first thing that flashed up as a disclaimer. Heed caution when journeying to Filthy Island. As the episode starts, Lawler is on the phone. He's got a dispute over some serious catering problems. They're holding stuff at the port. So he calls Guarini over and he hands him some lube. Now, if anybody watched the Firefest documentary, you know exactly where this scene is going. He tells Guarini, you need to go over to the docks and deal with the dock foreman. I can't remember his name offhand, but you need to deal with the dock foreman. And he hands him the lube and he says, this isn't for you, or this isn't for him, this is for you. And Guarini just looks over at the camera like, huh? So if you've watched the Firefest documentary that was on Netflix, you know exactly what happened. This is when the head of the Firefest asked one of his subordinates to blow one of the sponsors. So ideally, he's asking Guarini to take it up the ass for spam. So as soon as this happened, this was everything I knew it was going to be. Right away, they start with this blaze of glory, and it was just epic after that. But what are your thoughts on the opening promo?
Well, I thought it was hilarious. I thought it was just hilarious, and Guarini's face was priceless. And he just paused on that face for a few. Like, what? But the disclaimer, I like MLW assumes no liability in the event Filthy Island is a fraudulent business venture. That was just brilliant. So I love the opening, and it was great stuff, man. Great stuff, man.
Yeah, and then so we also get Lawler on commentary for the whole episode, which is just gold. And he's also there with Dan Lambert. Dan Lambert's big in the MMA world, and that was great. But also, what was even cooler was that there was a lot of background players doing a lot of stuff at Filthy Island. Bud Heavy was your music man. He had a little like 80s boombox with tape cassettes, and he was playing the theme songs on the tape cassettes.
Oh, it was fantastic. It was good to see Bud Heavy back then, and I'm glad
they had it there for a whole episode too. He got a little bit of love. He got to be shown on the whole episode. I thought it was great. I thought he did, and I loved how every time he popped in a tape cassette, he would start grooving to whose ever entrance music was.
Or he would go, "Let's go, it's your turn."
So good. Do we even discuss the first match? I guess we have to, but let's discuss this. This was interesting for me. The ring had no ropes. I don't know if that was a budgeting issue or if that was a reason, but the ropes, not having ropes came into play in almost every match, because where there should have been rope breaks and should have been like Irish whips, there was none. So it made for some very interesting and dynamic matches, made for some very interesting storytelling in the ring. Because I guess we as fans, we don't realize how you take ropes really for granted. Irish whips happen, high spots happen on the ropes, turnbuckles, everything. A lot of stuff builds, storytelling builds in the corners and on the ropes. And without the ropes, you have to be really, really creative. So kudos to all the guys who were on the card on Filthy Island, because they really had to step outside of the box, and it made for just very entertaining matches. Like this whole show, this whole hour, kept my attention through and through. There was not a moment that I fast forwarded. So the first match was the Guarini prize fight, and he fights the 14-time Polynesian champion Mauna Loa, who literally looked like a very bad ripoff of Congo Kong, like Congo Kong's bastard child, if you will. And this match was a telling of how the night was going to go, because Guarini just ended it in 39 seconds flat, and he got to keep his money. So there was no real high spots in this match for me, but I will say Guarini really entertained me this week, from the promo with Lawler to the match, the prize fight. I really enjoyed Team Filthy. But what were your thoughts on the opening match?
I like you mentioned the notes before. I like he's the 2017 Mr. Congeniality of Ohio, which I thought was hilarious. But yeah, no, this was great. And Mauna Loa came out. I took a picture of his thing. They had something funny on his caption, but I'll get to it after. But you're right. I was thinking he looks familiar, and you're right. He looked just like a poor version of Congo Kong. And I thought he was initially going to win the match with a splash. I thought he was going to get the win, but it was a quick match. After that, he tapped him out. And this was very entertaining. I like he showed the bag of money to Tom Lawler, and Lawler was like, "Whoa, that's a lot of money. That's a lot of money in there." So that was great stuff, man. I enjoyed this opening.
Yeah, I bet you there was a ton of money in there. I bet you there was about $100 bills rolled up in like big wads. That's probably what Guarini and Lawler take to the strip clubs when the night's done.
Yeah. So is the filthy facts, Mauna Loa. He's advocates the 100% Dole Whip diet, whatever that means. I thought that was fun.
I tell you, man, like the beautiful disaster that was Filthy Island. If there's no MLW fans that watch our show, but if they do tune in to get caught up, do yourselves a favor. Pause our episode. Go watch Filthy Island if you haven't, then come back and laugh and enjoy our review with us, because this was hands down, like I said, the best episode of 2021. This was one that they had been, promoting and buzzing for since the new year started, and it delivered on all kinds of levels. Then we get another Kruger and Hammerstone update. Again, I'm over all of this. We know that Hammerstone was at Filthy Island because he was trying to get some relaxation and get his head straight from his concussion. And we also had a Los Parks promo on Contra, which the fight is happening on March 3rd. And in that promo, LA Park challenged Hammerstone for the openweight title because Aztec Underground, they want all the gold, just like Contra wants all the gold. So this is what we knew what was coming. Now we've got, Promocios Dorado, aka Aztec Underground, whatever they're going by now, and Contra, it's literally coming like a train wreck. It's coming very, very quickly. And what we talked about a few episodes ago, it's happening. The two factions in MLW are literally coming together, and they're going to explode on one another. So I couldn't be more excited for this. Again, the promos were a little bit dainty for me. And again, the translation, the subtitles at the bottom, I don't think they were 100% correct or on point. It might have been because of Filthy Island, but whenever Los Parks cuts a promo, I love their in-ring ability, but when they cut a promo, they really make them take a peg or two down for me because they're not being on point with the translation. And that's just my honest opinion. I'm not insulting anybody, but I just wish the translation would be a little bit on point, because I don't believe LA Park said what was written. So it's hard. I don't speak Spanish, so it's hard to understand really. But what were your thoughts on these promos?
Oh, it was a good promo, and I guess the Hammerstone Kruger feud is over, because I think they mentioned that Kruger is awaiting his next mission. I think they
Do you care though? See, I'm not being an asshole right now. Do you care?
No, to be honest, not really. Not really.
Hammerstone's still the open weight title. Kruger didn't take it from him. He's still the number one contender for Jacob Fatu's heavyweight championship. So everything is exactly the same, minus a very bad Barclay brawl match. Barclay brawl match, which was again in the loading docks of the MLW arena.
I guess they wanted Kruger to win the feud, but not win the title. I guess that's what they were going for, and I guess that's what they achieved. But yeah, no, it was a good promo from LA Parks. Looking forward to LA Parks against Hammerstone. I think they were going after another title as well. I think they mentioned they wanted Fatu's title, but then they said, no, we're going to go after Hammerstone's title first.
Yeah, so if you get Hammerstone's title, you get a straight shot right to Fatu's title anyways, right?
Well, apparently it's not working out for Hammerstone because he's still waiting for his title shot for some reason. They're not giving him that shot. I would love to see Hammerstone finally get a shot at Fatu. But to answer your question, yes, I enjoyed the promo, and I'm looking forward to the two factions feuding.
Absolutely. And I love the Aztec Underground propaganda opportunity that flashed as well. Abound for Believers, AztecUnderground.com. So I checked out AztecUnderground.com. There's not much there right now, but you can join. You can be one of the true believers if you join now. So go to check AztecUnderground.com. Shameless plug. I'm plugging. I'm like a Jehovah's Witness for Aztec Underground. I'm telling people to go check it out. Become a true believer, Lewis. Okay, if you haven't, get on it as soon as we're done here.
Okay,
get on it, Lewis. Okay,
I will.
And now another great promo, Holliday and Hammerstone. This was great. Hammerstone still, I believe, suffering effects of the concussion, saying how wonderful the island looks and how fresh and clean the air is. And Richard Holliday just did what Richard Holliday does best. He literally shit all over Filthy Island. It's gross. There's no palm trees. It was just great. And they actually end the promo with Holliday saying, let's go back to the hotel because I don't want to be here anymore. And Hammerstone, he says, let's go get massages. And Hammerstone says, the happy ones? And Holliday shakes his head. So I everything was great. What were your thoughts on this promo? Because we're both Holliday and Hammerstone fans. So you must have enjoyed this comedic side from Hammerstone because you don't see it that often.
Absolutely. And Holiday saying, let's go back get massages because being out here is just getting me sore. So we have to get massage. That was a great line. And yeah, Hammerstone likes to wear red, doesn't he? He was wearing, I think everything he was wearing was red.
A red leather jacket in that kind of heat. Like, good for you, buddy. Yeah. Good for you, man.
Yeah, good for you. Yeah. So it was a great promo. Richard Holliday is gold in whatever he does, and I really enjoyed this. But actually, before that, I just want to mention Dan Lambert mentioned something about Kevin Koo. I don't know if you caught. He said Kevin Koo is from North Korea, but he can't return as he's wanted on multiple counts of aggravated assault, so he can't return to North Korea. What were your thoughts? I thought that was a great line. What are your thoughts on that line?
I enjoyed Dan Lambert on the promo. I thought him and Tom Lawler, they messed very, very well. We know there's a backstory there. I mean, if anybody watched the fight, the original first fight between King Mo and Low Key, Dan Lambert and Tom Lawler were very, very involved in that fight. They actually helped King Mo get the so-called knockout. They also revisit that later on the show leading up to the main event. But yeah, I thought Dan Lambert's one-liners here and there were great. I thought the chemistry between him and Tom Lawler were great. I enjoyed them on commentary. It was a nice break from the other commentators, but the other commentators were there as well because they were there during the that awesome Aztec jungle fight, which was as well everything. But hey, before we get into that, because it's a little bit later in the card, I will say this: they delivered on the jungle setting. So you know what? They did deliver on the jungle setting. There was trees.
Okay, yeah,
it was outdoor. I didn't see a dumpster anywhere in sight, so they did find a more of an opened area. So I'm happy about that. I felt like they delivered, at least on the setting. It was way better than the Backlane Brawl. Okay, not by a lot, but at least the setting was on point. Okay, it was.
Okay,
it was.
Okay.
All right. Well, obviously, we're going to have different opinions on that, but I still think it was great. I think there's nothing bad about this episode this week. Next thing, we get into a De La Renta promo, and De La Renta and Vega promo retelling everything. Selena gives St. Laurent a note from El Jefe. Blood will pour on the temple steps. And this is where we see the first kind of flashes of the Aztec jungle fight as we're waiting on Vega and Mel Mortis to arrive. But the next match that came on the card was Kevin Koo, Mr. I Can't Go Back to North Korea, and Zenshi. And I loved Zenshi's entrance. He flew down from the tree above the ring. I fucking literally jumped up from my couch. I marked out there. I'm like, yo, Zenshi, you don't have ropes. You can't do any high flying stuff. So what does he do? He gets creative and he jumps down from the tree. I fucking loved how they opened that match. I love the back and forth. I also like the part where Ku went to throw Zenshi into the turnbuckle, but Zenshi grabbed I guess you want to say the turnbuckle post or iron stick, whatever the hell it was,
Yep.
and he hung there for 2 seconds sideways and then kicked Ku as Ku ran into him. Like, that's amazing upper body strength to do that. And then the submissions on Gensi with the no breaks because there's no ropes was great. And Ku wins. That German style like suplex into the pin for the win was impressive. Ku and Guarini really changed my perspectives on them this week. They were entertaining. They were fun to watch. They were a lot better than that god-awful tag match we saw with TJP and Dow. So I really enjoyed Ku and Guarini this week. They both impressed me. And I'm going to already call it right now. They're my MVPs for this week, man. They were freaking entertaining as hell this week, both of them. So kudos to those guys. And putting Ku with Zenshi, I got to see what Ku could really do in a creative style with a creative, amazing, the aerial artist. We've had him on the show. He's a blast. So it was really nice to see Ku and Guarini kind of step out of what I've seen and give me a lot of entertainment this week. But what were your thoughts on this match?
Oh, man, I absolutely love Zenshi. Absolutely. I was just like you. I saw him in the tree. I'm like, what the hell is he going to do for sitting in the tree? And then he jumped out. That was just a great spot by Zenshi. I really enjoyed this match. I know there were no ropes, but they worked around the ropes and they delivered a great match. I just think Zenshi needs to stop losing, stop putting people over. He needs to start going on a winning streak because I think he's a lot more talented than just being there to put people over, in my opinion. But overall, I love the match. Love Zenshi. Kind of wish he won, but it was Filthy Island, so old Team Filthy was going to win, of course. And hopefully, Court Bauer will realize the talent he has in Zenshi and stop making him enhancement talents and let him win a few matches. Give him a title. I could see him with the middleweight, not the middleweight title, the middleweight title. Sorry, I could see him taking the belt from Leo Rush or whoever. Well, not Leo Rush. If Leo Rush drops the belt, I could see down the road Zenshi becoming.
As long as we're clear on that, I gave you a blatant face.
Yeah,
watch what you're going to say right now. Be careful. No, but
I saw that face. I got a little nervous.
I do
about to grab for the. Okay.
Sorry, go ahead.
I was about to grab for the Tums. Because
I've been in a great mood all episode so far. Please don't ruin it. Don't ruin it.
Okay, no, but Zenshi needs to go on a winning streak in my opinion. He needs to start winning his matches.
I 100% agree with everything you're saying. I think you're right. Zenshi is a great talent. I do like that he is putting people over because anybody that can hang with Zenshi, in my opinion, is somebody that I could see down the line being a fixture in MLW. So almost like The Undertaker was the guy in WWE for a long time that if you could hang with The Undertaker, you would get a bigger push. Maybe this is the case right now. If you can hang with Zenshi or Zenshi can make you look like a superstar, which he's literally done in every match he's been in that I've seen of MLW since I started watching faithfully. He is the guy. He is the torchbearer. You get past Zenshi, you're going to be a fixture in MLW for a long time. So while I agree with what you're saying, I also don't mind him putting guys over because I know Zenshi's going to get his spot and going to have his time. And you're right. He could go after the middleweight title or the unified middleweight AAA title for sure. And if it does happen to be him and Leo Rush, we spoke about it a lot in the interview. I would love to see Zenshi versus Leo Rush. I'm not mad at that. But all I will say is I'll predict it. I'll put it on wax now. Rush retains. If that ever happens, Rush retains. I have to say it because the man of the hour will bitch slap me if I don't. I have to.
Okay.
So Leo Rush versus Zenshi, if it ever does happen, Rush wins, Rush retains. But let's keep moving forward. Next promo we got was the Von Erichs. The Von Erichs promo, and actually their promos this week were great. They were actually really fun. Promoing, saying how, low key, our boy low key is going to walk into a trap, and they're coming. They're coming, Lawler. They're coming to crash the party. And right after that, we cut to Lawler on commentary. He says, hey, they're not invited. If they're coming, we got to get security. I haven't seen security all show up to this point. Who's the security? Bud Heavy playing in the tape? There's no security in Filthy Island. If they're going to show up, they're going to show up. What about your thoughts?
Oh, it was good. It was good. I like how they were going to crash a party, like show their keys. They're going to hop in their Jeep and they were going to crash a party. And I like how Filthy Island was called 1,000% Von Erich free in the original promo. So that was great. But I knew the Von Erichs were going to show up somehow. And, it was a very good promo. Where were they? They looked like they were on like like in a cannon or something,
I
a
almost want to say
canyon.
it
Or
looked like the Grand Canyon, but it couldn't have possibly been because they're
yeah,
supposed to be in Hawaii,
be
right?
in
But there might be
Hawaii.
plains that look very similar to that in Hawaii. I don't know the geographical area of Hawaii, so I'm not 100% sure. But wherever they were was pretty damn breathtaking. I'm not gonna lie. I was like, yo, that's a beautiful place.
I'm just wondering how, if they couldn't afford an actual ring, how did they afford all the round trip plane tickets from Florida to Hawaii? I
Oh,
was
it's
just,
easy. It's easy. They all chartered the same plane with the Spam. It was a
okay,
cargo.
yeah,
It was
yeah,
a
yeah, yeah.
cargo jet, dude. Nobody
Okay,
got seats. Come
okay,
on, are you kidding me?
okay. That makes
Nobody got
sense. That makes
seats.
sense.
Yeah,
That
that's
makes.
come on. It's Lawler, baby. Nobody got seats. So the next match was, I guess, the second part of the Aztec jungle fight. Vega finally arrives. Mel Muertes finally arrives. As Vega arrives, he confronts De La Renta, and then he's hit behind. They're fighting in the trees. They're going to town on each other, and then the satellite just crashes
Yeah,
because
we lost the
the
feed.
satellite in Mexico, apparently, according to Tom Lawler, the signal in Mexico is not as strong as the signal in Philly Island. So that's why the signal went down for the Aztec jungle fight. So the fight is obviously still continuing, but we're unable to see it at this time. And then the next thing we have is Alicia Altout. She is getting interview after interview canceled because she is asking such probing questions that people are
Yeah,
frustrated and they canceled her. So this was her interview with TJP, talking about the Dow situation. Why did this happen? What did they do? They lost, and TJP always doing wrestling at a high level, and he's giving back to helping talent. But Dow doesn't allow TJP to get to allow TJP to help. Doesn't allow him to get the success. Doesn't know what winning time is. Lewis, and did TJP bully him? I don't believe so, but a lot of other people out there do. Dow looks up to him. Of course he does. This was a great line from TJP because he's 4'1". He looks up to everybody. And then as the interview got on, Alicia asked her questions. TJP got more frustrated, and he did what Richard Holliday did the previous week. He cut the interview. He said, "It's done. It's over. I'm out." And he cut the interview. So that is the second time in 2 weeks that the interview queen has literally been hung up on. That line, the 4'1" line, I loved it. I laughed my ass
yeah,
off. He's not wrong. Dow does look up to everybody. So
absolutely.
Dow would even look up to my 11-year-old daughter. She's taller than him. So what's your thoughts on this interview between Alicia and TJP? What do you got?
Well, I was thinking the same thing. I was like, "What's Alicia too? It's really pissing a lot of people off. They're all hanging up on her. Richard Holiday, TJP." But I think the whole thing, and I agree with. I don't think he's bullying. He didn't bully Dow, but I think this whole thing is TJP trying to make Dow a better wrestler, a better performer. Like he said, he doesn't know how to win, but he's gonna teach him how to win by making him beat his teacher. I don't know if you might not remember, you might not be old enough, but a similar angle long time ago, Mr. Wrestling 2, Magnum TA, same kind of circumstances. Mr. Wrestling 2 is Magnum TA's teacher. He turned on Magnum TA, and it all turned out to be to make him a better wrestler. And I think that's what's happening here. That's my opinion.
I agree with you 150%. I don't know the storyline you're talking about, but
Okay.
yeah, similar storylines have been recycled for. I mean, it's the same old song and dance we all talk about as wrestling fans. We know these storylines. So you're right. I can think of a couple other storylines where something very similar to this has happened. Friends turning on friends, all kinds of stuff. I agree with it, but come on, man. I mean, that that line is a string for line of the night right now. Most people predict fights of the night, but there was a lot of great one-liners in this episode. So right now, I'll be
That's
honest.
true.
Of course, he looks up to everyone because he's 4'1", and the Puerto Rican James Earl Jones, man, they are right there. I don't know who's going to win line of the night right now, but those are my two front runners, Lewis. They are my two front runners.
Those are two great lines, two very, very good lines, man.
Well, also, and the one you said about Garenia, right? The Mr.
Yeah.
Congeniality of Ohio 2017. Guys,
The
take our word for it. This was just a great
Yeah,
freaking episode.
you have to watch this episode. Absolutely.
Okay. So, this was match of the night. Very excited for this one. Gringo Loco versus New Japan star Rocky Romero. I love this match. This match for me was probably match of the night. I love Gringo Loco. I love the style and the energy he brings to the ring. And I was concerned about this match going in because I'm like, fuck, with no ropes, what is Loco gonna do? You can't be white boy crazy without them ropes, baby.
Yep.
But great match. A lot of speed. They did a lot of high spots. The dive from Loco and Romero onto that stained like garbage couch. I hope they both got tetanus shots after that bump, dude, because that couch looked like shit.
Yeah,
straight up, that was awesome.
The VIP section, man.
Oh yeah, well, we'll find out about that later on for sure. The Romero flying knee, and then the kick off like the ring post onto the DDT for the win was just incredible. This was by far my match of the night for me. In my opinion, I love these two guys. I love Rocky Romero. Gringo Loco has impressed so much, and we're trying to get him on the show. So stay tuned for that, guys. Because hopefully we can get him on the show next couple of weeks. But Lewis, what were your thoughts on this match? I love this for me was match of the night.
Man, I absolutely love this match, and they both worked so well together. I think there was one point where Gringo Loco was going to run to the ropes, but he realized there were no ropes there, and he had to stop. Stop it! Oh, there's no ropes. There's no ropes.
So good. So good.
But I like Tom Lawler comparing Filthy Island to Madison Square Garden, MGM Grand, and the Tokyo Dome. That was another great line there. But I love the match. Rocky Romero is so damn good. And the spinning the tornado DDT off the pole was really good, a great finisher. But I agree, this was probably the match of the night. I absolutely love this match, and everybody worked so well. You know, even though they were limited to what they could do, they all made up for it, and they worked so well in the ring together, man. Awesome stuff, man.
100%. Hey, good news though. Right after this match, guess what? The Mexican satellite feed came through, and we were able to get part, I guess, 3 at this point of the Aztec jungle fight. And Vega and Mortis, they're still fighting in the jungle. Fighting in the jungle. And then Contra promo flashes on Injustice and Oliver. Public execution by Jacob Fatu is going to happen per Joseph Samael. It's going to happen. And you and I called this weeks ago when we knew that this was where it was going to go. And apparently Jordan Oliver is a heavyweight. The jury's still out for me on that. But I stated this 2 weeks ago in my episode. Go back and watch it. You'll hear me say, if you have a wife, Jacob Fatu is going to make her a widow. Jordan Oliver is going to get destroyed. This is going to be a squash match of epic proportions. Oliver may get a hit or 2 in, but there's no chance in hell that he's going to do anything on Fatu. The only way he'll get any kind of an upper hand on Fatu is if Myron Reed is by his side, because Myron Reed is literally, how do I word this properly? I don't know. You may know the wavelength I'm on, but I don't know how to word it. He starts the moves and Oliver finishes them, if that makes sense. Yeah. So Reed kind of gets the ball rolling for Oliver to do cool shit, because Reed is 10 times the wrestler Oliver is. Listen, Oliver impressed me a few weeks ago. Actually almost a month ago now, in his match with Simon Gotch that you and I disagreed on, but he impressed me. But nowhere is he at a level of the crown jewel of Contra. You have to be fucking kidding me.
Yep.
I'm sorry, but Court Bauer, you're the mad genius, man. I love everything you do. There's always an angle you're working. I don't see the angle here. I can't see the chessboard. I don't know what you're playing. All I know is that you're going to embarrass Jordan Oliver. And Jacob Fatu is just going to run through him. I'm sorry. I'm going to predict this to be a 7-second match. But Heavy's going to have a longer match than fucking Jordan Oliver. I'm sorry. I don't care. Whatever. People may find me annoying. City Praise on the Alliance page. How are you? The annoying guy here. Keyboard Warriors. Got to love him. But seriously, dude, I'm sorry. Lewis, what's your thoughts, man? City Praise is going to like this, though, because I'm not talking and you are. So shout out to the Keyboard Warriors of YouTube. What do you got, Lewis?
Like, I don't know why it's Jordan Oliver is being pushed into this title match, not Myron Reed. I think Myron Reed.
Title match though, Lewis.
It's not. Okay, I'm sorry. No, I thought it was a title match.
This is just for respect. Heavyweight versus heavyweight.
Okay, then that makes a little more sense. But but still, Jacob Fatu is just going to absolutely bulldoze right over him. It's I don't. It's not going to be 7 second. I think it'll be maybe 13-second match. That'll be it. But there's no way that Jordan Oliver is going to do anything in this match against. I wouldn't be surprised if Jordan Oliver could just come into the ring and then Contra just jumps him and Myron Reed tries to help him, and there's no actual match. They just all team up on Myron Reed and Jordan Oliver and just take him out. We've seen that in the past with Contra. I wouldn't be surprised if that happens. But I like. Joseph Samael always cuts a great promo. Calls Jordan Oliver, says he's a child who should have stayed in the kiddie pool because he doesn't belong in the deep water, which is just a great line, man. Just a great line. And If
a
a
lot of
match,
great lines, a lot of great lines on this episode, baby. A lot of great lines, man.
so and he's so intense. He's just so great. I love all his promos. I just wish he didn't, hack into matches as they were happening to show the promo. I just that's a little annoying.
Yes.
But bottom line, March 3rd, Fatu just destroys Oliver. No question.
13 seconds. I got 7. You got 13. Guys, get your bets in. We'll post a pool on all the socials. What if this happens? I think this is going to run a little long today, but that's good because we're having a great conversation. I feel like we're gelling again, so that's a good thing because we were on the outs there for a bit. What if this happens? What if the match does go the way we predicted and Oliver gets run through? What if Reed comes out to check on his friend? Fatu starts running his mouth, and Reed says, "I'm gonna put this strap on the line right now, and I'm gonna tear you down," kind of like Hogan at WrestleMania 12, Bret Hart, Yokozuna. What if that happens? And he does. And what if Myron Reed shocks the fucking world and becomes a new MLW heavyweight champion? What if the storyline goes that way, like WrestleMania 12, Bret Hart, Yokozuna? You remember that storyline? Hogan comes out to check on an injured Bret Hart.
Yep.
What if we get something like that? Because I actually could see that playing out, and I could see Reed getting the upper hand on Fatu in a match he's unprepared for. What are your thoughts on if something like that were to go down?
That would be fantastic. That would be absolutely fantastic. I think Myron Reed would be a terrific MLW heavyweight champion. I think that would be fantastic. I'd be all for that. I'd be all for that. But since you mentioned that, something just popped into my head that's a little scary. What if somehow Jordan Oliver steals a victory over Fatu, and then we get a title match between the two down the road? Do you think something like that could happen?
Reed and Oliver?
No, if Jordan Oliver steals a victory on
and then we get a match between Fatu and
like Myron Reed comes out, distracts him, and Oliver rolls him up, and there's like a quick count, and he gets a quick 3 count, and down the road. Do you think something like that could happen?
I do, but I still think it's the same end result if the title's on the line. Okay, a quick surprise win, non-title, Fatu could slug that off. But then now his strap's going to be on the line. He's not going to let anybody distract him. He's rocking that MLW heavyweight gold until he stops breathing. So
of course.
I don't see Oliver being the guy to take it from. I really see if it's going to work. I see the Reed angle playing more into effect because Reed is the better champion, and I also like the idea of Reed versus Hammerstone down the line. I fucking love Reed versus Hammerstone down the line.
Another idea just popped into my head. What if? What if? Because when the Kruger Hammerstone feud is apparently over. What if Hammerstone comes out and makes the save? What if Oliver's getting destroyed? Reed tries to make the save, and then Hammerstone comes out, makes the save, and just gets face to face with Fatu and says, "Look, you've ducked me long enough. I want a title shot." That would be pretty cool. I
wish the open weight title would be more like the Money in the Bank. So I wish you could come out anytime you felt like it, and you could literally say, "I'm cashing in my open weight title. Here's a strap back. Include me in this match." Maybe it becomes a triple threat title match. Like, I don't know. I see that as possible, but I really wish the open weight title would be more like a Money in the Bank kind of thing. You wear it around your waist as long as you're the champ. Anytime you want, you could give your title back to the powers that be at MLW, and you can have a match. I think that's a better way to play the open weight title than just having it be the number one contender. Because if it is the number one contender, he's had that title for literally a year plus, and he still hasn't got a title. When is he able to get a title shot? I think Court Bauer and the powers that be at MLW should look at that and say, maybe we should make the open weight title more of a Money in the Bank type thing. When you own this, you can get a shot anytime you want.
That's a good idea, man. That's actually a really, really good idea. And I'd be for that 100%, man.
Well, it's better than what they've been doing now. I mean, how long's Hammerstone's title reign been? What are we, 500, 600 days? We're almost 2 years, are we not?
Yeah, almost 2 years, yeah.
How long does it take to get a fucking ACH got a title shot. You know what I mean? Like, come on. And I'm not doubting ACH's ability. I'm not saying that. I want everyone to understand that. I'm not saying but ACH is like number 10 in the Pro Wrestling Illustrated, rankings.
Yeah.
How the hell did number 9, number 10 guy get a title shot over the guy who's been number 1 for 2 years? I don't understand.
Yeah, I don't get it either. Man.
I don't know what they're building, but again, Bauer, I've called him the mad genius since we started this thing. He's always got an angle. I don't know what this 2-year angle is. What it is, it's much like the Backlay Brawl. It's frustrating. Just throw it. It's a dumpster fire at this point. Fucking throw them both in, and let's change everything again.
Yeah. I'd like to get Court Bauer on the show and just ask him that question. Like, why isn't Hammerstone getting a shot?
Well, we know he watches. We know he
Yeah,
watches. So Court Bauer, here we go. Open weight challenge right now. Your boys from MLW Rewind were given a challenge. I'm going to cut this clip and we're going to tweak this clip. Yeah. Court Bauer, look me in my face. I'm serious. I'm focused. You versus us on the show. We need answers. The fans of MLW need answers. We're tired of waiting. 2 years. Hammerstone will get a title shot, but you put him in a dumpster fight with fucking Max Kruger? Come on, bro. Let's get some answers. Court Bauer, we're here. You've endorsed us. We know we exist. So get your ass on this show.
That's right. That's right, Court. Get on this show.
All right, let's go to another epic promo from the Von Erichs. They're still on their way, but guess what? This time they are mobile, Lewis. They are driving. They're in their Jeep. They got a GoPro hanging out the window, baby, and they are on their way.
They're live streaming too. I love how the live streaming, the views have been going up, like skyrocketing. It's like 100, and the next thing is 1,000, 2,000, all these views. But it was I think Alicia Toot announced them too. She goes, "Oh, the Von Erichs are live streaming right now. Let's go to the Von Erichs. They're live streaming on a pre-recorded show." So that's great stuff.
Love it. All right. Then we get another big announcement. MLW Underground returns next week. I'm excited. I always like the MLW Underground segments from back in the day. I enjoyed this. I'm looking forward to see what happens. Oh, and also we're back to the jungle. The feed is back.
Yep.
We've got satellite feed again. And this time, Vega is knocked out clean. De La Renta handed Mel Mortis some kind of a pipe or something, maybe a shovel, I'm not sure, and knocked Vega cold out. He gets the win. And as he pins him, he starts digging a grave. And then the feed cuts out again. So either Vega's getting buried alive or Mel Mortis is just digging graves for the hell of it. Next to Conan's grave, I'm not sure. So yeah, Mel Mortis won though. We knew that was going to happen because he's the man of 1,000 deaths. Can't lose because he dies 1,000 times. So you got to beat him 1,001 times to really win. But what were your thoughts on this Aztec jungle fight that at least was in a jungle? Remember that, Lewis. We talked about it earlier. It was at least the setting was correct. Go ahead.
I thought it was a good brawl. I thought for what it was, I think it was a decent brawl. And I did catch something. I don't think you caught it because
I might not have.
Actually, because Muertes hit Vega with the crowbar. Okay. If you watch closely, Vega came in with the crowbar. He was holding the crowbar and he just dropped it on the floor. And then Muertes picked it up and hit him over the head with it. Okay. So Vega brought in the crowbar. I guess maybe De La Renta was supposed to do it and she didn't have time to get it. So he kind of brought it in and kind of dropped it for him. He picked it up and hit Vega over the head, got the 1, 2, 3. And they, like I said, he's digging a grave and then they lost the feed. And I like was it the cameraman saying, "We got to get out of here again. Let's get out of here. I want to get out of here."
It was the announcers.
Announcer.
It was Saint Laurent, the other announcer who's escaping my mind. I apologize. Not Saint Laurent, but the other guy is like, "We're done. I'm really uncomfortable now. We got to get out of here." But no gold from the cameraman this week. Cameramen have been rock solid last couple of weeks. Yeah. But there was no need for the cameraman to shine too bright this week because there was so much other great stuff going on. But so,
did they just are we to assume that they buried Vega alive? And is he dead? Is he gone?
Well, I guess we're gonna have to wait until next week to really find out what the deal is. But as it stands right now, I guess the assumption is that yes, Vega has been buried alive in the Aztec jungle, and now maybe what I said a few weeks ago will come to fruition. Maybe we have the origin of the man of 1,001 reincarnations. I thought it was going to be Conan, but maybe it is Savio Vega. You like how I said that, right?
Yeah. It's like, wow. It's like, ooh, Savio Vega.
All right, let's get into the best promo of the whole night next to the opening promo. Lawler and Hammerstone and Holliday. 3 geniuses of mic ability in one camera shot. Promo shows the fish guts, an empty Starbucks cup that Lawler actually drinks out of. I don't know how long it was sitting there, but he actually drank out of it. I hope it was relatively new. I hope that was his own personal cup from maybe a few minutes before. If he did, Lawler, please get yourself checked out. If you don't have COVID, you may have some kind of a venereal disease after that. So please do us a favor, get yourself checked out. And he's basically showing Richard Holliday everything that Filthy Island could be if he were to purchase Filthy Island. He shows him that amazing VIP seating. Yeah, that shit-stained, piss-stained couch that we talked about, Gringo Loco jumping on, and also the truck seats pulled out from the back of a truck or a minivan that were next to it. And Holliday makes an offer. He does, Lewis. He makes a full-out offer. And how much was the offer? $0. And as they're walking away, because he tells him to leave, actually, in the middle of that promo, Hammerstone is hungry. And Lawler pulls out a can of that Spam, but he doesn't open it the way Spam should be opened. He opened it with his teeth. And he gives it to Hammerstone, and he's like, Holliday's like, don't eat that. What are you doing? Don't eat that. Like, we got to go. We got to go. And as they walk out of frame, Lawler says, I'm going to send a proposal to your lawyer/father. We're going to get this deal done. The offer made was $0, Lawler. $0. You're not going to make any money off of this. So this was just another just epic, amazing moment in this amazing night filled with amazing moments. Lewis,
gosh,
what are your thoughts on this just fucking beautiful promo of the night?
This was pure brilliance all the way. Holliday, I think he said, I'm offering $0, and that's a good deal. That's a good deal. I think he said that. But I like how Hammerstone, he was like, let's think about this. It's spam. And we're getting spam. And he's like, Lawler, keep the spam coming. Keep the spam coming. I'm going to talk to Holliday. Great stuff. But when he went to open up that can with his teeth, and he really got his teeth in there, that I was hysterical. I'm like, Lawler is just brilliant right now. What can I say? Just a fantastic segment. Absolutely loved it. I love Filthy Island. I want to go to Filthy Island. Me and you we should contact Lawler and say, we want to go to Filthy Island. Send us we want to be on that cargo plane to the next cargo plane to Filthy Island.
Oh man, you know what though? It was everything it needed to be. And my only thing is that next year they have to make it more disastrous than this week was. They've got to get more pea-stained couches. They got to get more spam. And obviously with Lawler showing the spam, we learned one thing that we really don't need to talk about. Greeny did whatever he needed to do. Greeny and the Doc Foreman, they got the spam. Came to some kind of an agreement, and we got what we needed to
spam.
Do. That's right.
We got the spam.
And I also liked. I don't know if this was one part of the promo or this was something as right before the main event, but one of the commentators said, "This is classy, not the UFC, just gold." It was just gold, straight up. I believe that was Lawler in the middle of that promo. He said that to he told people that's right. He told people to move off those truck seats, and he said, "Get out of here, guys, sit here. This is classy. It's not the UFC." That's another great one-liner. We got to figure out which one-liner is going to be. Guys, this is going to be a long one because we also got an interview coming up in this one as well, pre-recorded. I'll let you know who the guest is after we wrap up. We are almost done with our rewind. Now it's main event time. King Mo versus Low Ki. A decent back and forth. Low Ki gets Mo on the top. Low Ki gets Mo to tap out, and everyone is pissed off at the ref. Filthy. Tom Lawler's walking over the ref. He pulls the ref down. He's like, "What are you doing?" And all of a sudden, Team Filthy surrounds the ring. We got sharks in the water. Low Ki standing in the middle of the ring. He's waiting. And then, that sexy looking Jeep comes in, and boom, the Von Erichs literally crash into the ring of the Jeep, or almost crash. It was like right there, split second. They get out. It's an all-out brawl. My favorite part of this brawl, Marshall Von Erich tossing Tom Lawler into the fucking windshield of the Jeep. Yes, he cracked it. He broke it. I fucking loved it. Team Filthy retreats, and the Von Erichs and Low Ki standing tall in the ring to end the show. The match was decent. Like I said, an okay back and forth. Not a very long match. When the match started after the entrances, there was only about 4 minutes left, so we weren't going to get much of a main event at that point. Like I said, it was decent back and forth. And because there was no ropes, no rope break, therefore Low Ki got an extra long submission on King Mo, and that's what got the tap out. So no knockout, but a tap out. So now the feud between King Mo and Low Ki is 1-1. We're going to have a rubber match soon, most likely. Yeah. What are your thoughts on this? I mean, again, Lawler going through the windshield was just the cherry on top of a fucking amazing evening.
Yeah, I hope that wasn't a rental. I hope that wasn't a rental Jeep, or I mean,
the deposit is lost if it was. The Von Erichs now own that Jeep, and I think they're okay with that. I really do.
Okay, man. But when Loki was coming to the ring, I was kind of hoping that Bud Heavy would have stood up and gotten his face, and they could have had a little stare down or something like a force taken. But I was like, nah, that's not going to happen. But no, it was for what it was. It was more of an MMA style match, so you really didn't need the ring rope. So it kind of that kind of worked in that aspect. I think it was like a less than 2 minutes, but loved loved the Von Erich showing up and saving low key. They had a nice brawl to end the show, and going through the windshield. I was like, again, I was saying, I hope it's not a rental, or I wonder if that's the Von Erich's Jeep, or I hope that's not Kevin Von Erich's Jeep, or he's gonna punish his sons for breaking the windshield. But I noticed Bud Heavy was standing up with his hands on his hips, like he was pissed when they were all attacking low key. I thought maybe I was like, come on, Bud, get in the ring, make the save, do something. I want to see Bud get in the ring, man. But then he kind of disappeared. And
we don't know how everything was edited. Maybe they did work multiple angles where Bud was supposed to maybe jump in the ring, or maybe they had edited it a couple different ways. There could have been alternate endings to the show.
Yeah.
But all in all, I'm just going to go out and call this. I'm going to say the one-liner of the night goes to my man Tom Lawler. This is classy, not the UFC. That was the liner of the night for me. And my rating for this one, A++. A++. That's not even a real rating, but I'm going to go and give it an extra special rate. I'm giving it extra plus because Filthy Island deserved it. MLW deserved it. Everyone that was on that show this past Wednesday, you're all VIPs for me. All of you. And I think you did a fantastic job. And Guarini and Kevin Koo, you are the top VIPs. Actually, Guarini a little bit more because you got the spam, bro. I know you had to do some shady shit. I get it. But you got the spam, and I appreciate you. The fans appreciate you. Everyone that sat on that pea-stained couch and got a tetanus shot after, they appreciate you because you got the spam. You did what you had to do.
Yep.
And I'm not mad at you, bro. I get it. Lewis, what's your rating before we announce our guest this week?
Oh, gosh. I give it an A. It's the first time I'm giving it that high. I'm giving this an A.
Come on, Lewis. Let's have the same rating. Give it an A++.
Okay, an A. How many pluses did you give? 2 or 3?
I gave 2. 2 pluses.
Okay, A++. There we go. So A++. Just a fantastic show from start to finish. Absolutely enjoyed it. And make sure you give the show your full attention, unlike I did when I first watched it. You can't just watch a little bit, take your attention away and go back because you're going to be like, oh, this is not good.
Can we read the text message conversations? Can I read the conversation, how the original conversation went before you gave it another? Okay, here we go. Okay.
Yeah, go ahead.
So, where is it here? Okay. Just man. No. Oh, this is when we were beefing back and forth on what's happening with this. Okay, the questions. Yeah. Okay. Here we go. Awful. Just awful. My response. Are you serious? It was a beautiful fucking disaster. Sorry, man. I was thoroughly entertained. Just the shit bag I knew it was going to be. I didn't like it. I'll watch it again though. I watched it on my phone. I'll give it another chance. Your call, dude. If you want to take the ground and say you were not entertained, that's fine. But this was a lot of bright spots, especially when all the wrestlers were coming out and the little stats thing, and they called Loki the Puerto Rican James Earl Jones was go. And you're like, okay. I love that Bud Heavy was in charge of the music. I was like, right? And you're like, we should invite him to discuss Filthy Island. I'm like, well, we've got such and such coming on, and there's a couple spots there. It was gold. And that's the way the conversation ended. But Lewis obviously gave it his full attention. And this one time he could say something he has yet to say on our 8 episodes, because this is episode number 8. And the thing you're going to say is, George, you
were right and I was wrong. There you go.
Wow.
I said it. If I'm wrong, I'm wrong. George was right and I was wrong. Actually, we wanted to record this a few days earlier, but I said, no. I have to watch Filthy Island. I have to give him my full attention. So I'm glad I did, because it was an A++ show.
A++. That's right. And now we can announce this week's special guest, because this week's. Oh, wait, hold on. You didn't give us your one-liner of the night. Which one was the one-liner of the night, baby?
The one-liner of the night. I liked when Lambert said that Kevin Koo can't go back to North Korea because he's wanted on multiple aggravated assaults. So that was great.
All right, and then the honorable mention would be the Puerto Rican James Earl Jones.
Yeah, that would be the honorable mention.
All right, perfect. Okay, we're in agreement. Look at that. We're agreeing all kinds.
So
that's it for the Rewind this week, guys. As always, I'm your host, your boy George McKay. You know my podcast life partner, Lewis Carlan, Alliance Pro Wrestling Network, and Straight Talk Wrestling. That's where you can find the show on YouTube. You can also find it on our separate podcast links. If you go on any of the podcast platforms, we are on all of them. We're on both. So you can check the episode at either one. And if you're not subscribing to one, maybe subscribe to the other or subscribe to both, because the content we produce on our own side shows is absolutely amazing. Lewis has got some amazing interviews on Alliance Pro Wrestling Network. That's fantastic work that he does. He also does stuff on the Impact Lounge, and he's got a lot of fans that love him. City Praise. And, then there's me, Straight Talk Wrestling. Got a lot of great interviews. Actually just dropped a new one with Jeremy Prophet, also Ashley Slashy. The previous week, I dropped one with Chase Owens, which is getting a lot of attention because we did discuss a lot of the Bullet Club controversy. So check out both of our stuff and subscribe and support. Listen, support is free, and we appreciate it and we love it. I am officially almost at 220 subscribers. Lewis is on his way to 230, 240, and it's great. We're both gaining the respect and attention that we need because we put a lot of work and effort into our shows, plus the one we do together, which is a great bromance. So shout out to Lewis.
Thank you.
This has been a lot of fun this week. And now, Lewis, I'm going to let you introduce this week's guest before we wrap it up. Lewis, let everybody know right after we cut this part who is coming on for another epic chat.
I'm very excited. It's none other than Mr. Dynastic himself, Richard Holliday. And I am very excited. I'm looking forward to speaking to Richard Holliday. I have a lot of questions, and I'm sure you do too. And I just want to say thanks for all the great plugs. I just want to say that you are an absolute interview machine. You always do a great job. So kudos to you, man. Keep up the great work, man.
Much love and appreciation. All right, guys, that's it for us. We're going to get out of here. And then we're going to, right after we get out of here, the interview is going to begin with the one and only Richard Holliday, Mr. Dynastic himself. So enjoy it. Peace, love, and wrestling. We're going to see you guys next week for another rewind. I don't know how they're going to top next week because I'm still going to be riding high from Filthy Island. I am on that cargo jet on my way home. And I got to say it one more time. I got my sunglasses. I got my Starbucks cup. I got my pineapple flavored water. And life is good here on Filthy Island, baby. That's it for us this week, guys. Peace, love, and wrestling.
All right. Take care. Bye-bye, everybody.
Hey, Richard. How are you, buddy?
What's going on, gentlemen?
How are you? Got a little nervous there. It's 8:02. I thought you really canceled the interview, man, because I said decaf.
No, but I mean, I certainly almost considered it.
Okay. All right. Cool.
Well, welcome to the MLW Rewind co-hosted podcast by myself, George from Straight Talk Wrestling, and my podcast life partner, Lewis Carlan from Shooting Up North. You only tweeted one of us. Just saying. It's okay. It's all right. I'm just joking. Welcome back to MLW Rewind. How are you this evening, sir?
Well, I am doing particularly fine, as always.
Yeah. How was your cup of coffee before the interview? Was it good?
It was good, and until of course, the decaf comment was made, which just completely insulted me.
Well, I don't know why he did what he did, sir. I can't justify his actions, but I would never ever suggest decaf.
You would never do that, right?
No, decaf's not a coffee.
It's not a coffee. He is clearly a tea drinker.
Oh, 100%. Well, he's over 50, right? Most people over 50 usually are tea drinkers. So.
Well, I'm not gonna lie. I am a tea drinker. English breakfast tea. English breakfast tea is my thing.
I could spot a tea drinker from a mile away, and trust me, I could smell you through the phone. You're a tea drinker.
Okay, well, good call, because you're correct, man.
All right, Richard. So again, welcome back to MLW Rewind. I'm your host, your boy, George McKay, and my podcast life partner, Lewis Carlan. First question right off the bat. Filthy Island was just this past Wednesday, a couple days ago. And when you arrived at Filthy Island to represent the Caribbean title, did Lawler ever ask you when you were going to Filthy Island to put the title on the line at all?
No, I think he did that out of respect because he knew that I would never, ever want to defend my championship on that absolutely grotesque, disgusting, and a very appropriately named Filthy Island. The place was disgusting. There was fish bones all over the place. There was a used Starbucks cup that was probably a couple years old that Tom drank out of.
Yeah,
I almost threw up. Yeah, it was disgusting.
Yeah, completely agree with you on that.
All right, so I'm just gonna get right into the ref thing. So bottom line, are you and Tim Donaghy working together? Bottom line.
No.
Are you sure? Not
Positive.
Working together.
Not working together.
Okay. All right.
I don't know why. I don't know what would make you feel that way.
Well, the Caribbean Champ match. I mean, he blocked Savio Vega from tapping the last turnbuckle. So I kind of figured that maybe you guys were working together a little bit.
I mean, it's not Tim's fault that that was the last turnbuckle that Savio chose. He could have ended up at there was three other turnbuckles. He chose that one. Not Tim's fault. Not my fault.
Did he have to stand in front of the turnbuckle though? He could have moved over to the side and allowed Savio Vega to possibly win the match. I mean, did he have to stand directly in front of the turnbuckle? That's just the way I see
mean,
it.
that's neither here nor there. I mean, it was a great point of view to call a wrestling match, and that's where he was standing.
Okay, all right, fair enough, man. Fair enough.
So I do have to ask because Court Bauer has vowed to take these allegations very seriously and an investigation. He's promised an investigation into this ref scandal with Tim Donaghy. Are you concerned about the investigation?
Not at all. I mean, at the end of the day, I have the best lawyer / father that money could buy. So any investigation that Court is willing to do, it's really not in his best interest because, I mean, think about what my last name is. The Holliday last name. I mean, we offer a lot more than just being the greatest Caribbean champion to ever walk this planet. You know, there's a lineage of lawyers, and my lawyer / my father is the greatest out there today. So Court, I mean, if you really want to go to war in the courtroom, we'll do it. Just because your first name is Court doesn't mean that you're going to win in court. So it's not the way it works.
Absolutely agree with you on that.
All right, that was actually a good one. Court's not going to win in court. I kind of like that. But on the MLW website, they're actually saying that Donaghy tilted the outcome of the Caribbean Champ match in your favor. Do you have any ill feelings towards MLW for making that accusation?
Tilted in what way? I mean, you're going to have to go a little bit more in depth than that.
Well, this is MLW saying on their website. It's not me saying it. I'm just reading what they're saying on their website. So.
Yeah, I don't read the website. I don't have time for that. I'm way too busy. I got so many things going on. I'm not going to sit there and click a website. I mean, it's, you know, I'm the face of MLW. What do I don't have to read about it too.
Okay.
So I've got to ask, because in your rather short interview with Alicia Atoot, you mentioned that you and Tim are friends and you've had a personal relationship for quite a bit of time. Did you think that this personal relationship with a disgraced NBA ref such as him would cause any kind of concern or even raise some eyebrows?
Well, I mean, honestly, the friendship didn't really start until, you know, after the matchup. You know, I really got to know him. He's a great man, a great humanitarian, a global sports icon. And, you know, it's really a shame. It's really a shame the way that his name has been dragged through the mud for all these years because, you know, what a great guy. He really is such a great, genuine dude. You just get to know a guy like Tim. You want a guy like Tim by your side. You really do. And you know, it's just not fair. I feel for Tim.
So how do you respond when people refer to him as a former, well, not former, but a disgraced former NBA ref? How do you respond to that?
I asked them if they've ever made a mistake in their life. I asked them if they're perfect, if they have no blemishes, if they have no bleach stains on their shirts, because I highly doubt that that's the case. Everybody in their life has made a mistake. You made a mistake about 30 minutes ago telling me that I drink decaf. You almost canceled this interview. That's a mistake. It's a blemish on your resume. You're a tea drinker. That's 2 blemishes on your resume. You're wearing a Red Sox hat. That's 3 blemishes on your resume. I mean, at the end of the day, you're making mistakes left and right, and nobody's accusing you of being a bad person.
Actually, is this better? Is that better? Is that better?
Is that a Met hat?
That's
no,
a Met hat.
It's not. It's not better.
It's not
so,
better at all. No,
it's not better at all. I mean, this guy can't. You know, you couldn't go right if that was the only direction possible. So.
Okay, I apologize, sir. I'll put that back on.
So, Richard, in the event of the investigation, you said you're not worried. You know, you want to go to war in the courtroom. Court, let's do it. Does that mean your father / lawyer is prepping a defense for when that might happen? Is he working on something? Probably not vigilantly, but he's probably taking a few notes, maybe jotting down some points he might need to address if it comes to that.
Listen, my lawyer / father is the absolute best in the business right now. He is always prepared. You know, to enter the war room with him, I mean, that is like, you know, entering a gunfight with a knife. It's just not going to work out for you, my friend. So you want to look a Holliday in the eye? You want to look a Holliday in the courtroom? Absolutely not. I mean, that's just the biggest mistake that you could possibly make. Almost as big as a mistake as Savio looking me in the eye. You know, the ring is my courtroom, and the courtroom is my lawyer/father's ring. They're synonymous. They're one and the same. You don't mess with a Holliday in their environment.
I actually really dig that metaphor. That was very, very well put together, sir. Well put together.
Well, the Hollidays are very well put together.
They are, and they know their coffee, and they know how to drink it. They know how to respect it as well. And again, I apologize for the decaf comment. That really, don't let it squander one half of the representation of MLW Rewind for the disgrace and mistakes of the other.
I won't, but however, that is time for a cheap plug, and I will do it. So consumers, please go to prowrestlingtees.com or mlwshop.com and buy your very own Dynastic coffee mug and drink coffee out of it, not tea. Thank you.
Fantastic. I love the plug. Amazing.
Any chance we're going to get Dynastic tea in the future, or is it just going to strictly be coffee?
I could almost guarantee you that there will not be a Dynastic tea.
Okay. What's this rumor I'm reading? I've seen in a few places that Donaghy and yourself have bet a large sum of money on the Caribbean strap match, and you both bet on yourself to win.
Why are you asking me so many questions about Tim? I mean, what's the infatuation with Tim and I? I mean, the man reffed one match. He reffed my match. Okay. I won the match. Move on. I mean, all these just Tim, Richard and Tim. Gambling, Richard and Tim. It's all I hear. I mean, why don't you ask me how my day's going? Why don't you ask me, what the weather's like in the Northeast right now? Why don't you ask me, what I put in my coffee? The answer is nothing. I drink it black. I mean, what's up with these questions about Tim?
Okay, well, I apologize. That'll be the last question. I won't ask any more questions about Tim. And how is the weather where you are right now, actually?
I mean, that's a stupid question. You're really gonna waste my time asking me about the weather on an interview? I mean, can you really get your act together at this point? You got to go back. It's just stop asking questions.
Okay.
All right, Richard. So I want to go to Filthy Island now. I want to go back to Filthy Island. Hammerstone seemed to really love the island, love everything about it, from the food to the massages, the happy ending massages that he mentioned, and really seemed to find inner peace. But you just looked annoyed. Was it annoyed because you were dragged away from everything to go to Filthy Island on Lawler's invite? Or were you annoyed that Hammerstone was finding this inner peace?
Well, at the end of the day, Hammerstone is very easily amused. But I will say, that island did not represent the dynastic qualities that make us the dynasty. And, I just felt like that island for me was just loaded with germs and just disgusting and grotesque and not really up to my style. Hammer, I think, was just so encapsulated by his meal that he might have been distracted and didn't really have a good understanding of his surroundings and grasp what was really happening there, because Tom is really like a dirt under the fingernail, grotesque kind of guy. So I just think he was blinded. I think he was just really hungry, to be honest with you. Hammer eats like 10 times a day. So he was starving. He had that meal. Tom was making a bad used cars salesman pitch. It just wasn't working.
Do you think it might have been maybe an afterthought from the concussion? Like maybe he was still suffering from that concussion that he got from Max Kruger. Could this still be the aftershock of that? Possibly, Hammerstone?
I mean, it is certainly possible. I mean, Max Kruger he might be one of Hammer's toughest opponents that he's faced ever in MLW. He's got his hands full right there. I mean, that's a great point that you made right there. It certainly could be repercussions of the concussion. I think he's healing well. I don't want to blame it on that. I'm not going to rule it out. Athletes get concussions all the time, and you see the lingering effects. You see it in the NFL and the NBA, MLB. You see it all the time. So, that could be the case. I think it was the fact that he was hungry, though. I don't know. I'm not a doctor.
100% agree.
Okay, since my questions aren't, since you don't enjoy my questions, I know you were on Twitter asking for some questions and to submit it. So I'm going to ask a question that was submitted to that post. CK from Warwick, Pennsylvania wants to know who would win in a match between you and Alexander Hammerstone.
Pure speculation. It's a question, does it warrant an answer? No, it doesn't. Because me and Hammer of the Dynasty, we're best friends, we're best bros. We're not going to wrestle. Doesn't even matter.
Okay, there was one more question that somebody put. Do you want me to ask you it now, or do you want to? Should I ask you later? It's okay to ask you now.
You're certainly on a roll, so
Okay.
let's go.
Okay, so this comes from Mark Nielsen. He wants to know how many evening coffees are considered too many and regrettable for sleep.
Good question there. I would say that it is all tolerance based, and it probably has to do with your body weight as well, and just really how committed you are to coffee in general. I mean, in the evening, I could put back 3 easily in the evening and be completely fine. Have I gone more than that? I believe I have. Have I gone less than that? I don't really think so. But some people, they need to work up to it. Not everybody can just be like me when they wake up and, put back 4 cups of coffee. When you're breathing rarefied air, you could drink 6, 7, 8, 9 cups of coffee in a day, and it's just like water. But, Mark, to answer your question, if 1 is enough for you and you got to get a good night's sleep, build up. Maybe the next night you have a cup and a half. Then maybe you get to 2 cups.
Okay, there you go.
So
Good
it's a
answer.
marathon, not a sprint.
Okay, good answer. Good answer.
I want to go back again to Tom Lawler. You basically mentioned that he's a used car salesman. I completely agree with you on that statement. But so he made that pitch to try to get you to, I guess, buy a piece of property, buy the island, if you will. He showed you all the aesthetics, which were not pleasing to the eye at all. But then he mentioned to you that he was going to send a proposal to your lawyer/father. Has he sent that proposal? Has your lawyer/father received it and promptly thrown it in the trash, or has he even discussed it with you at all?
Well, I made an offer to Tom right then and there on the island. I offered him $0.
Yes.
I did. I offered him $0, which at that point I thought I was overpaying. And, he didn't accept that offer, which was kind of foolish, kind of shows you how uneducated Tom is. But something like that, when we get a letter from Filthy Island or from the Lawlers, or really from anybody in Team Filthy, it's kind of like spam to your email. You don't even open it. You kind of just throw it right in the garbage. There's not going to be anything of validity in there anyway, nothing that's going to stimulate our minds. So if he did send anything, I don't even know if he could afford the postage stamps, but if he could, we'd probably just threw it out anyway.
I probably would have done the same thing. Actually, I would have mailed it back to him and then charged the postage back to him. What I would have done.
Could do that, but that would actually take effort and time and me caring. So
fair enough.
All right, so Gino Medina is going to be on the show in a few weeks, and he found out you were coming on today, and he wanted me to tell you that he quit Dynasty. So I just want to let you know from Gino Medina, he wanted me to tell you that he quit Dynasty.
All right, tell him that he's the equivalent of stale bread.
Okay, I'll let him know as soon as the interview is over.
All right, thank you.
Okay, and actually, you and Gino are on bad terms right now. Are we going to see you guys in the ring? Hopefully sooner rather than later.
I mean, at the end of the day, the way he's talking, yeah. I mean, he's lucky I don't smack some sense into him. Some dynastic sense into him. I tried to give him the world. I tried to give him everything. I put Gino on a pedestal. I made Gino the star that he is right now. The star that he is right now. I used him for the Spanish demographic. And then I thought, hey, you know what? Maybe this could turn into something. But it turned into nothing. And I fired him. Fired. Fired. I know he can't really understand English, so let me spell it out for him. Fired him. He didn't quit. Nobody quits the dynasty. Okay? He got fired.
Okay.
He's undynastic.
Okay. I will let him know.
So now that you have moved past Savio Vega, that storyline's done. You've won. You are, the champion. You are the Caribbean champion.
I am the Caribbean champion.
100%. 100%. Are you going to start defending it? Or if somebody comes up to you, like if Gino were to come up to you and say, listen, I want you to put that strap on the line against me. Would you do it? Would you make it an open challenge type deal?
I would say, Gino, what on God's green earth would ever make you think that you deserve a Caribbean championship match against me? And then I would give it to him just to prove the point that I am a fighting champion and that he is undynastic, and I would beat him. He's at the very back end of the list of people who deserve to have a Caribbean Championship match. I'm not really sure who does, but I am a fighting champion. I fully intend on defending that championship that I have worked so hard for, that I've worked so hard to restore honor to it and put dignity behind it and make it the most relevant championship in MLW, and try to deny that it's not the most relevant championship of all in MLW. Try and deny it.
I can't. No, I can't deny it. You're 100% right. It is the most relevant title. But if there was anybody in the MLW roster that you felt might be worthy enough for a title shot, is there any suggestions or any ideas you may have? I know you said there's not a lot of people who are worthy, but if someone was almost worthy, who would you give a title shot to?
Oh, man, you know, I'm not one of those people who likes to, you know, say I want to wrestle this one person. I've never been that kind of guy. So I'm going to just say that the Caribbean Championship deserves a lot. It deserves the main event of every show that it is possibly featured on, which should be every one, but you can't have too much of a good thing. Whenever that Caribbean Championship does get defended, whoever is standing across the ring from me, they better have looked themselves in the mirror, trained as hard as they could train, and say, I deserve this moment. Even though I'm going to look at them and say, you probably don't. But they need to think it.
Right. So it's all about that inner fire. They got to have that inner fire to want it.
The inner fire that I have. You know, not everybody can match this. That's what separates me.
Absolutely. You and I have that inner fire. The person who's going to ask the question next does not. His fire burned out years ago. Go ahead, Lewis.
Yeah.
I'm just curious who would be officiating the match, though, if it's you and Medina for the Caribbean title.
Lewis, I don't know. Probably a registered MLW official, just like the last one was. So great question, Lewis. I don't know. Someone who's wearing white and black. I mean, I don't know what to tell you.
Okay. That was my question. I'll let George ask the next question.
I do have a question about coffee. I'm past Filthy Island. I'm past all the ref stuff, past everything from LW. I do have a question about coffee. Obviously, when you're at home, you have your machine of choice, whether it be a percolator or a Keurig. But when you're on the road, it's very hard to get the quality of coffee that you would expect. So when you're traveling, do you bring your own coffee with you? You bring your own machine with you? Do you pack it in a separate suitcase so it's with you everywhere so you can get that dynastic cup of coffee every single time?
Well, here's the thing. I'm always going to have dynastic coffee on me. However, traveling is one of the big perks of professional wrestling. So what I like to do is I'm a known advocate of doing this, is I like to go to the highest rated local coffee shop in the area. I will go there. I will order a cortado and a drip coffee, one of both, and I will judge them right there on the spot. And I will let everybody know on social media, this place is legit or this place sucks. And I go there and, you know, it's a great experience for me. It's a great way for me to get into my mindset prior to my matchups. You know, everybody has their zen. Everybody has, you know, their thing that they do. My thing is going to a local coffee shop, finding out what makes them so special, why they were #1 rated on Yelp. That's what I use. And I go there and I'll sit down and I'll relax. But don't mistake the fact that I also have coffee ready to go. There's also dynastic coffee in the locker room waiting for me at all times. That's a must. You know, the engine's got to keep on moving. But I do like to go and fancy myself, you know, a local coffee shop.
Right. And I'm glad you support local. There's no need to go to the big box places because big box coffee all tastes the same. But supporting local, that's the great way to do it. I appreciate that. I respect that a lot, actually.
I do support local. You know, I have a spot in every town that MLW has gone to and every town that I've gone to independently, you know, that stands out to me. And I have no problem ever shouting out that. You know, is it dynastic coffee? No. But is it good local coffee? Of course. Coffee is an all-encompassing community. Coffee lovers alike, you know, we respect each other. I respect the coffee drinker. You're a coffee drinker, right?
I am, sir. I do. I drink 3 to 4 cups a day.
Excellent. You know who's not a coffee drinker?
Yes, I do, sir.
Okay, then we need to say no more.
Absolutely. A non-coffee drinker, you're up.
Okay. Well, the decaf makes me a little lightheaded, so that's why I can't drink coffee.
Oh.
That's right. So I drink the tea. So okay.
You will now be referred to as non-coffee drinker for the remainder of me ever being on the show.
Okay.
And hopefully it sticks. That's just your name.
Non-coffee. Hey, okay, it'll stick. I could be non-coffee drinker, and hopefully
NCD. That's your new nickname. NCD.
NCD. Yes, I love it.
That's it. You're
I completely
NCD.
endorse that. Completely endorse.
Yep.
Okay, that's it, man. That's it.
Go
man.
ahead and get T-shirts made, and I'll collect the 50% royalty.
Okay, we'll do. Actually, we had Alicia Toot on recently, and she actually said if she had a dynastic, she said if she had a dynastic coffee mug, she would smash it on the floor. And how would you respond to that?
I'd say, well, good luck ever getting a dynastic coffee mug because she's banned from buying them, and I would never send her. I would never send her one. So go ahead and slam your imaginary dynastic coffee mug all over your floor, and tweet about it. Go ahead. I mean, Alicia is such a waste of my time. You know, just thinking about her right now, you're honestly aggravating. NCD, honestly, you're aggravating me now. NCD has done nothing but ask me aggravating questions.
Okay, I apologize for that. Maybe that'll be my last question. Because I want you to come back many times, and I don't want to. That I didn't mean to piss you off, and I apologize, sir. And I do like the NCD nickname, and it's gonna stick, and I appreciate it.
Well, I didn't make it for you to like it. It's just that's what it is.
Okay, all right. But I like the AirPods, by the way.
I wear them every day of my life, so this is nothing new.
100%.
Also, you're wearing. I didn't even know you're wearing wired. I just noticed that. It's like, that's like the poorest thing you could do. Oh my God. All right. They come, good for you.
They come with the phone. So I use them.
My God, NCD, you are just digging a deeper hole.
Oh gosh.
Just a deeper and deeper hole as we go.
George, ask a good question. Come on,
Richard, I do have to ask this. There's a lot of speculation on Aztec Underground and what they're doing. They're literally buying up everything that they can get their hands on. They tried to make IWA an offer. Vega flat out refused. If they had made IWA an offer, they would have been absolved, and you actually would have been representing Promociones Dorado or Aztec Underground. Do you have any idea or a possible suggestion on who might be, as Savio put it, waiting in the shadows, who might be behind Aztec Underground? I threw out somebody who has ties to Lucha Libre background, who was part of Lucha Underground. I threw out Vampiro. Do you think I'm on the right wavelength with a suggestion like that?
Well, I think your thinking is probably in line. For me, Savio is, not only somebody who, took a defeat to me, in terms of, the Caribbean strap match. I mean, that's got to weigh on him, so emotionally bearing. He's also just not a savvy businessman whatsoever. So, the Promociones Dorado offer, it probably just went right over his head. It was probably a great, fair offer. And he was probably just too stupid to realize what it was. In terms of who is behind this and all of the master, puppeteer manipulation, I am not entirely sure. I'm so encapsulated in just being the Caribbean champion and, focusing on my brand and my marketing and all of that I haven't really dug too deep into it. But I'm sure as the IWA/MLW Caribbean champion, I will be heavily involved in any discussions because, if somebody were to want to buy IWA, well, now they're getting me as a champion, and that is a hell of a bargaining chip. It's probably the main reason that somebody would want to strike a deal anyway. So, whatever the case may be, I'm sure that they're going to be a good business partner for me, as I will be for them. And I don't know. It's all pure speculation at the moment.
Right. And has Selena De La Renta or anyone from Promociones Dorado reached out to you at all?
No, we have had, I'd actually like to not comment on that.
Fair enough. I appreciate the non-comment. No problem, sir. No problem.
Can I try one more question? See if this one works.
Yeah, just humor me.
Okay. So Dynasty and Injustice have a common enemy in Contra. Would Dynasty be open to aligning with Injustice to battle Contra?
Lewis, I think you're done. I
Okay,
think you're done.
George,
that was
George.
my last. That was my last question, and I won't ask anything else. George, you're up, man.
George, take over.
So, Richard, I do have to ask this. With what happened with Max Kruger and Hammerstone not being 100%, are you worried or concerned at all that they may come after you as being pretty much aligned with Hammerstone? I mean, there could be repercussions. We've seen it elsewhere. And another question, side question. I know you don't much care for Injustice, but I do have to ask this. Jordan Oliver is going to be facing Jacob Fatu in a couple weeks. I already said Fatu is going to make him a widow. Do you agree with me on that statement as well? Two-part question.
I'll answer the first part of your question in terms of myself, because myself is more important than
100%.
anything else.
It is.
You know, I do think about this. There's a huge target on my back that I am the Caribbean champion now. You know, people want that championship. Also, the Dynasty is the hottest thing in all of MLW. Also, I have my own Dynastic coffee brand.
You do.
Also, I'm incredibly good looking. So there's a lot of things that are working against me that would normally be a positive. Mm-hmm. But Contra is going after Hammerstone right now. And obviously, Hammerstone and I are directly correlated. Is there a chance that Joseph Samael and Jacob Fatu and everybody else that's affiliated with Contra Unit now might be looking at me, that they might be in their boardroom with me and putting the pin on my head, looking at me and saying, that's our next target? It's possible. I'm an educated man, though. You know, so I'm wise enough to think about this. So they might think that they're 2 steps ahead of me. Well, guess what? I'm 5 steps ahead of their 2 steps that they thought they were ahead of me of.
Right. Absolutely.
That's 7. That is 7 steps, George.
Mm-hmm. You are.
That is
you are
7. Right. That is 7 steps. Now, in terms of Jordan Oliver and Jacob Fatu, Jordan's doing a hell of a job. Jacob Fatu is the heavyweight champion. I think he's also double his size. I don't really know what's going to happen there. All I know is that I'm focused on Hammerstone and myself.
As you should be. And you're right. And I can't wait to one day get my hands on one of those Dynastic coffee mugs, because I know it would make my coffee taste 10 times better than it already does.
Why hasn't it been ordered yet?
I'm working on it, sir. I've been a little bit busy with the family. I'm working on it. No excuses. I'm going to get on it right away.
I'm going to order one too.
And NCD, if you dare order one.
Am I banned as well from ordering?
If you put tea in that coffee mug, you will be hearing from a certain individual.
Will the coffee mug self-destruct if tea enters it? Will it just automatically disintegrate?
Well, there's a disclaimer that comes with it, and that's, you know, if tea is put into it and we somehow find out about it, and we will find out about it, you are and will be sued by my lord / my father.
Okay.
Don't buy it, Lewis. Don't buy it. You're just risking a lawsuit.
I don't think I can now. I can't. I don't want to get sued, so I think I'll skip it. Mm-hmm. Maybe I'll get a T-shirt instead.
You could buy a T-shirt. I mean, that would be a massive upgrade to your wardrobe.
Oh,
yes. Absolutely. Yes, thanks. Thanks. I appreciate that.
No problem,
Richard,
NCD.
As always, Richard, it's a pleasure to have you back on the show. Second time back on the show. You know you're always welcome, because you know that I will ask the educated questions, and I always respect you. I enjoy the banter that we share. I feel like we respect one another because of the similar interests, the intelligence levels, and the fact that we're both coffee drinkers. It's just a natural. It's like owning a Jeep or a Ferrari. If you know someone else who does, you kind of give that little tip of your hat, like, hey, you're in a class of your own.
100%. And you know what? There's, you know, I personally enjoy a stimulating conversation with somebody who is of the same education level. You know, that's how you grow in life. NCD has a lot to work on. He needs to make a lot of upgrades. He's got to cut the cords. He's got to ditch the hat. He's got to start drinking some coffee. I can't help that man. I mean, that is just, you know, I've given him so much free advice tonight. that I'm actually thinking about sending him an invoice, even though I'm not a licensed therapist. I'm thinking about sending him an invoice because, my God.
Amazing.
Well, hopefully I can get back into your good graces in the near future.
I mean, we'll see. I doubt it.
Okay.
All right. So for me and my partner, NCD, which I don't even want to let him shout at his socials. Richard, why don't you go ahead and let everyone know if they aren't following you, where they should be, because they should be. It's just stupid not to be.
At this point, if you're not, you're uneducated, but it happens. At Most Marketable on Twitter and Instagram, same handle on both, at Most Marketable. You can also go to ProWrestlingTees.com, buy one of my new t-shirts.
Fantastic. I'm going to order the coffee mug right after we get off of this because I don't want to delay it any longer. And my socials are at _Straight Talk on Twitter, Straight Talk Wrestling on Instagram and Facebook. And I also have a Pro Wrestling Tees. So hit it up. Support the show, Straight Talk Wrestling at Pro Wrestling Tees. And the YouTube page is Straight Talk Wrestling. Again, Richard, thank you so much, the Caribbean Champion, for coming on MLW Rewind today. NCD, go ahead and shout out your socials quickly.
I don't think I think I've been punished. I don't think you deserve to hear my socials today. So
no socials for NCD. Thanks for having me, George. I'm gonna sign off. NCD, get your life together.
I'll try. Thanks.
Right. Thank you so much, Richard. Enjoy the rest of your day.
Cheers.
Take care. Bye-bye.